A DC horror movie starring one of my favourite Batman villains? Yes, fucking please. Today, me and Lee's gonna be talking about the upcoming Clayface movie. They released the first trailer, finally. And,
Yes.
oh, Lee,
It looks good.
it looks
It looks
fan-fucking-tabulous.
amazing.
Dare I say it's my most hyped movie of the year.
That's fair. That's understandable. I think I'm slightly more hyped for Supergirl, but I think that's just because I prefer like action comedies.
I think it's just
You
because,
know?
like, it's Clayface.
Yeah, and
Now,
Clayface is
in
pretty
this
good.
trailer, we get to see a few things. We see Clayface, we see Matt Hagen in the hospital bed,
Yeah.
the
That's
stitches.
that's the main scene. They go back to that one,
Yeah.
they zoom in every time, and he looks fucked up.
Oh, yeah.
His eyes bulging out and everything's all like red,
So
covered in blood.
we see that he did get attacked. Now, one thing I'm curious about is we do see someone injecting something into his eye. Well, not his eye, like the wee scar under his eye,
Yeah.
which that's obviously how he's gonna become Clayface. But I'm wondering who that was. And I'm also wondering, with this taking inspiration from one of the best Batman the Animated Series episodes, The Feet of Clay, I'm wondering if we're going to see Roland Daggett in this.
We could.
One thing that got me really excited was it's near the end of the trailer where like you see the silhouette and he's making the like mace or something with his
Yeah,
hand.
yeah, he's like making some type of weapon.
Now I do think for the most part this is going to be he's going to look more like I don't know if it's like the golden or silver age Clayface, where he is just a guy with a droopy face for most of it.
I
And
think
then as the movie goes on, he becomes the big mud monster that
because
we all know
I'm
about.
I'm assuming because this is obviously the origin film,
Yeah,
he's not gonna look like how he does in Creature Commandos, and I would think it's either at the end of the film he do that, or they might not even do that at all.
I think they'll do it.
But I would prefer they would do it because I think it'd be cool. Maybe throughout the movie he begins where he doesn't know what to do. His face is just drooping. He's trying to keep it up.
Like that one scene from the
He's
trailer, where like he's
yeah, he's like stressing, and anytime he touches his face, it just it all fucks up.
yeah.
But then throughout the movie, he learns how to make shapes. He learns how to and then at the end of the film, that's when he just goes full rage monster.
And I would
And
say this is a body horror movie, and I'm fucking terrible with it. Like I love horror, but body horror is just ooh, I don't like it. You even see it like the bit where like he's wiping his face like that, and it all disappears.
I don't think I've actually watched a body horror film.
Oh, they are fucking
I
disgusting.
I don't I think I've only just watched like slashers. Because that's just those are the ones I can handle for the most part.
No,
Like,
body horrors are fucking. I haven't watched many of them because I've seen a few and that they always make me just go. Whoa. Like I love them, but like just. Whoa.
yeah,
But
but
one thing I want to say, I said I was saying this in the video. I've mentioned it many times to a bunch of people. Anyone who thinks this movie should take place in the Reeve's is a fucking idiot,
yeah,
a fucking moron. And I know that
because
sounds harsh. I know people are probably watching and they go, "Oh, Jesus Christ, that's a bit harsh." He changed Cobblepot's last name to Cobb. In what world would he change that? Because Cobblepot sounds too silly.
and then have
A big fucking mud shapeshifter. It doesn't fit. It doesn't connect. And I know Matt Reeves is producing this movie, but that don't mean shit. Let's ask the big question. The question everyone wants to know. Will Batman be in this movie?
I hope at the end as like a
I think we'll get a similar like Creature Commandos thing.
yeah, hopefully not as short, but like still a cameo. Like still like he comes in at the end and you're like, oh, that's who's gonna be playing Batman.
Yeah, I think best case scenario we see Batman and we finally see an actor for him.
because that would be really cool. I think that would be
But I
like
think at most we probably will just see like the silhouette on a rooftop. So I guess it depends on like what Clayface does in this movie, whether it'll even catch Batman's attention or not, because for all we know, he's all fighting that fucking clown again.
it's always that clown.
It's always the clown.
I wish there was more to talk about because this was a teaser trailer, we only really saw the hospital bed scenes and then bits of what goes on in the movie. So there's not much to talk about with the trailer. We're just kind of more speculating what could.
We're more just yapping. That's
Yeah.
fine. It's what we do. We yap.
Yeah,
That sort of thing.
that's literally what I put in the description of
Yeah.
just yap.
We do just yap. But if you're excited for Clayface, which you should be, let us know what you're most excited for. Let us know if you think we'll see Batman. And
I hope.
so do I. And let us know your hopes for this movie.
Do you think we'll see anybody else in the movie? Like maybe little glimpses of other villains that maybe aren't who they are yet,
Now, I think if we're going to see any of them, I think there's a good chance we might see Carmine Falcone or Cobblepot.
Yeah. I think for a movie like this, it would make sense to show off the just the regular standard people.
Maybe we'll see that fucking
mob
clown
bosses.
again. Who knows?
That'd be such a weird reveal, though. Just like he has a Clayface movie, and there's that fucking clown again. There he is. Like,
There he is. There's the fucking clown. Fuck off, Joker! It's my movie. From what I've heard, they have told us many times. They're not just saying this. This is a full-on horror movie.
yeah.
It's not just right. Here's a
and it
superhero movie that just so happens to be a horror. This is horror first.
which I'm so glad because with
Yeah,
Clayface, his whole backstory and even his abilities is scary. You know, it's
but I
something
never like
that
I
you
never
know.
thought once in my life Clayface should have a horror movie. But the second it was like presented to me, I was like, that makes so much sense.
Yeah, because you don't think about it, because you always see it in the like the action perspective. This
Yeah,
giant clay monster fighting Batman. Batman pulls out a katana. You know, that's
probably.
Arkham City. Yeah. So you
But
don't really think
it
about
does
it.
have me curious, and this could be another video. What other Batman villains could get their own movies? It doesn't have to be horror, but what other Batman villains deserve this treatment?
Yeah,
That's it. There's nothing
yeah.
else to really talk about.
Just overall, we're very excited for this movie.
Oh
It
yeah.
looks great. It looks scary.
Oh yeah.
The CGI doesn't look terrible. It actually I actually
Oh
I
yeah.
like the
No.
looks of the clay. You
Oh,
know, it
yeah.
looks
And then
nice.
the droopy
It's
face,
it's
very nice.
just the right amount of droopiness and like kind of like ugliness to not be like,
Like
oh, that's
uncanny, yeah.
yeah. I think it just looks great. I'm excited.
Yeah, but this has been Ben and Lee in a studio. We're bringing back the old outro.
Yep.
That's it.
Hey, you're such an Axel.